Three assets that I think that we all have, everybody as a person, is they have time, they have effort, and they have money. And self-sacrifice is taking away any of those things from yourself to the benefit of others.
Self-sacrifice, it's exemplified through Islam. So I think self-sacrifice just means that, you follow the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you put them in your life, and you always put, your desires and your needs in this world, and then you put them aside and you focus on the ones that are ordained for you, that will gain you success in this life and in the hereafter.
Just take something as simplistic as what is the purpose of MSA?
I think it's to build like a community, to have like a community of Muslims educating people on things that they wouldn't learn normally, just going about school. It's like
exactly. And then you being here right now interviewing me, I mean, you could be doing something for fun, right? You could be doing something for yourself or whatever, but you've sacrificed time, you've sacrificed effort and money to be here right now to interview me so that you can move MSA forward and you can give those benefits to the community like you're saying.
How would you describe self-discipline, and how would you take it to be applied to others, to like serve others and help others?
Okay, so good question. I mean, one thing about self-discipline, we have Ramadan just around the corner, about a month away, that we're learning how to discipline ourselves. We're learning how to control ourselves, control our desires, and the taqwa.
Ramadan is the 9th month on the Islamic calendar. Muslims all across the world participate in Ramadan by fasting, praying, and practicing discipline. The month is ended with the celebration of Eid al-Fitr.
So that self-discipline, it goes together with the sacrifice, where you're basically controlling your desires. You may want to do something, you may need to do something, but for the greater good, for someone else's benefits, for someone else's happiness, you're pushing your desires to the side.
Self-discipline is like the basic recipe for getting yourself to a point to have efficient amounts of time, effort. And again, tying this all into time, effort, and money, the ingredients that we basically need, the recipe to be able to help others.
Usually as a kid, when you tell someone you're gonna do something and they'll say that, it's gonna be easy. But when I remember when I was, telling everyone I was gonna be a hafiz, they're like, it's hard.
Hafiz is the Arabic term for someone who has memorized the entirety of the Quran.
I used to wake up during Tahajjud time, to learn a whole page of the Quran to memorize it. And then after we read Fajr, then I would, go learn my sabki, learn my door, and then I'd wake up, I would do school, then I would practice again. So, just like putting myself like in an environment where I had to discipline myself at a young age.
What did this like environment consist of? Who guided your discipline to make you and like push you to complete becoming a Hafiz?
It was definitely my twin brother.
That's an easy one.
Yeah?
That's easy. It was nothing other than my father, Mushtaq Bharti. Yeah.
I would say Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No, definitely. That's number one. If you look at his whole life, his sacrifice and everything he did for the ummah, for everyone, the long nights of prayer and crying for the ummah, making dua for their guidance, and then the days, going back and forth, going to everyone, trying to spread the message, going far beyond what we would expect someone to do.
We actually started at the same time, and we actually ended at the same time. So, we always motivated each other. Like, I remember coming after class, I'd be tired, I would want to eat, I would want to watch TV, I didn't want to go like right into my studies, and then my brother would be like, what are you doing? Stop slacking, let's go memorize our sabak for that day. So I think just doing it together, we were able to we bettered each other. Like at moments he would want to rest, or I would want to rest, but then we just motivated each other, and we're like, let's get this done right now. I think that's what self-discipline is. It's the antonym of procrastination. You want to do your stuff right now, right then and there. So you can see the fruits of it later.
Sometimes we would be on the way and we would stop off to pray, and we would make wudu, and then we would put like a musalla down, and and then we would start praying, and a lot of the times people would just gather around. And and after we're done praying, my dad would always end up talking to random people, and they would sit down and they would start talking to him, and he would talk to them about Islam, and a couple of times it happened when it was a girlfriend and boyfriend, and they he's talking to both of them, and they both end up accepting Islam. So they both end up accepting Islam, and then he used to have like a nikah thing in his bag. So he would just whip it out and say, okay, well, as a girlfriend, as Muslims now, girlfriend and boyfriend, you guys can't be doing this. So now, let's make it official. So he would actually read their nikah. And then I asked him once, and I was like, Dad, I was like, and then he would also tell them and say, give them numbers and say, okay, well, where do you live? Okay, yeah, we live in Grand Rapids or Grand Blanc or whatever. Sometimes they would be from far away because these were rest areas. Once I sat down and I talked to my dad, I was like, Dad, you know that these people are never gonna go and contact them, it's probably just, they get caught up in the moment, and they accepted Islam, and, they're probably gonna end up going back and just live their lives. And my dad said, and then my dad gave me the meaning of a hadith, where it says something like this, more or less, that when somebody has said La ilaha illallah even once, or ever remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any way or at any time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take them. This will be like an excuse for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take them out of the Jahannam and put them into the Jannah. So he said, Beta, he said, son, I think to myself that at some point in time, maybe, this just might be the reason. And that made a lot of sense to me, and I saw him do that throughout his entire life. So he was definitely the inspiration for me, as far as self-sacrifice is concerned.
Sounds like a remarkable man.
Yeah, he was.